Hello guys, it's your old mate Nick, looking a little bit different. We've just gone into our 6th lockdown here in Melbourne, so it's been a long slog for the last 18 months, and the wife came up to me and said, I don't know how much longer I can put up with you looking like a homeless man. And those were her words, so I took it upon myself to have a little bit of a Dad and Dave. And then next week I've also booked in with my brother, who's an extremely talented hairdresser, to potentially have a little bit of a trim also. But aside from that, look, we're doing okay. We're all a little bit fatigued and a little bit over all this virus stuff. My little daughter Hayley was due to have her birthday next week. She's going to miss that again, and she missed her 2020 birthday as well. So she's a little bit sad, but you know, we're all toughing it out. Now I want to show you all a video. It's a video of the CEO of Philips, Frans van Houten, when he was interviewed by some financial guys. And I want you to pay close attention to what he says when asked about potential litigation from the recall. All right, here it is.
So Frans, obviously you've had some major issues in regards to the sleep apnea products. You made a provision last month, I understand, of 500 million euros. Is that at the extreme? Is that as bad as you think the litigation may be in regards to the product recall?
With regards to the word litigation, I think it's way too early. We will, of course, use all the data that we have to prove that while this causes discomfort, it is not a ground for litigation.
I think you will find you are wrong, Frans, and here's why. Okay, so let's talk about this data. And this is data actually provided by Philips, and I don't really trust it. It's a new document titled Sleep and Respiratory Care Update, Clinical Information. And it's quite a big document. It's a little bit tedious. There's a lot of scientific jargon in there, so I'm going to try and break it down for you. And this is sort of the most important parts of the document. If you want to read the whole document, just have a look in the description below and I'll put a link down there. All right, firstly, foam degradation. Lab analysis confirmed the presence of DEG, diethylene glycol, as well as other compounds. So let's just stop right here, straight off the bat. Philips, what is the point of providing a new lab analysis document if you're not going to tell us what the compounds are? What are these other compounds? Asbestos. I mean, who the hell knows? This is why I don't trust these documents from Philips. They're so shady. Anyway, DEG, diethylene glycol, the one they do mention, is pretty nasty just by itself. It's pretty toxic stuff. It's been involved in a number of prominent mass poisonings dating back a long way to like 1937. And, quote, ingestion can lead to serious complications that may prove fatal. All right, and I'll put a few journal articles in the description of the video so you can go and read up on diethylene glycol. All right, that's one of the major compounds that they've found. Philips goes on to say, laboratory accelerated aged foam was used to obtain sufficient quantity of field samples for biocompatibility lab testing. And basically what that means is Philips recreated the degrading foam in the lab and tested it for toxicity. And here's what they found.
Esta sí será una buena toma, Teddy.
Cytotoxicity was positive for the extraction concentrations, while 2 genotoxicity assays showed a positive mutagenic response. All right, A, cytotoxicity, toxic to cells, causes cell damage or death. All right, so that's your cells getting destroyed. B, genotoxicity, toxic damage to DNA. This causes DNA mutations which may lead to cancer, birth defects, etc. So that's about as black and white as it can possibly get. Moving on. They state that based on the test data and the information available, Philips believes that most degraded foam particles are too big to be deeply inhaled. and that is that most of them sort of get caught in your mouth or in your upper airway, you know, in the mucous membranes up here, in your trachea, and that they don't go right down into your deep lung tissue, into your alveoli. All right, so they continue with, according to analysis by Philips, which I don't trust, the majority of particles are of a size greater than 8 micrometers and are unlikely to penetrate into the deep lung tissue. Smaller particles less than 3 micrometers are capable of diffusing into the deep lung tissue and deposit into the alveoli. During testing performed by outside labs on the degraded foam, the smallest particulate size identified was 2.69 micrometer. So smaller than 3 micrometer, which is clearly small enough to penetrate deep down into the lungs, into your alveoli, and there it stays forever, constantly off-gassing the dangerous chemicals. They then go on to talk about the VOCs, the volatile organic compounds, and I've already discussed them in another video, so we won't go down that rabbit hole again. And here's just a few of the 100 comments from Philips patients on my channel. All right, a few select comments, and there's hundreds of them. So this is real world data. I replaced my Philips machine a few months ago, thankfully with a different brand. During the time with Philips, I developed progressively worsening breathing problems and was diagnosed with COPD. I've never smoked a cigarette in my life. Since receiving my replacement, my breathing has dramatically improved. I didn't make any connection until now. Wow. My husband used one since 2019 and now has stage 4 throat and nose cancer. Never smoked a day in his life and passed away last month. In discussion with lawyers now. That's quite sad, that one. Thanks for your video. I used one for years and I actually got diagnosed with tonsil cancer and it spread to my lymph nodes. I've emailed Philips and I'm seeking legal advice. Now I know why my lungs have nodules all over them. Been on a dream station for years. Great. I have stage 4 cancer and have been having severe headaches since day 1 on this machine. Doctor said stop using it ASAP. Sorry guys, just had a little moment there, but I'm back. Now the FDA knows how serious this recall is because they've classified it a class 1, and that's the most serious type of recall there is. Quote from the FDA, use of these devices may cause serious injury or death. All right, so I can't be any more blunt than that. This is serious. It also struck me the other day that this recall also involves all the ventilators, machines used to keep people alive, you know, COVID patients, people under severe respiratory distress. And here you have Philips pumping these poor patients with diethylene glycol and these other compounds and foam and all sorts of other shit right when they're at their worst. And just on this, Philips has just been issued with another class 1 recall on their ventilators from the FDA. 2 class 1s within a matter of months, all right? So all of Philips ventilators designed to provide high flow oxygen therapy are affected by the recall, compromising more than 16,500 of the company's V60 and V60 Plus ventilators distributed from May 2009 until June this year. That is a long time back to be recalling ventilators that have been providing basically life support for people. Those devices are used in hospital for patients in need of mechanical breathing support, including those with respiratory failure, chronic respiratory insufficiency, or obstructive sleep apnea. All right, so thus far we have the disintegrating foam, right, which can be embedded deep inside your lung tissues, in your alveoli, off-gassing forever. Your toxic chemicals, your diethylene glycol, all right, that's really bad stuff. Your volatile organic chemicals, carcinogenic chemicals above the safety range. And on top of this, we now have these ventilators that provide low oxygen content when people are dying. Rather than recalling the devices in the truest sense of the word, that is, asking affected healthcare providers to return the ventilators, which is what a recall should be, Philips has instead issued a new set of safety guidelines governing ongoing use of the ventilators. Hospital staff must conduct constant and close monitoring of all patients connected to the ventilators. Constant monitoring. Hey nurse, this ventilator, keeping this poor guy alive, it might not work sometimes. So don't you dare leave his side.
Brian, I'm going to be honest with you. That smells like pure gasoline.
They've done studies, 60% of the time, it works every time.
That doesn't make sense.
Now, old mate Frans van Riekel is obviously too busy selling toothbrushes and shavers to come out and do a public apology. So I thought I'd do one on his behalf to all you Philips users. Here it goes. On behalf of Philips, I would just like to offer my deepest apologies to all our patients and retail partners affected by the recall. As CEO, I take full responsibility for the mistake, and I'm truly sorry for all the hardship caused. I want to assure everyone that I'm doing everything in my power to restore your trust in the Philips brand. All those affected by the recall will now receive brand new DreamStation 2 devices, and we'll be working very hard to get these out to you in the coming months so you can continue your therapy with Philips. I hope in time that we can earn your trust, and I'm very sorry that we let you down. It won't happen again. Thank you for your time, Nick, on behalf of Frans van Riekel. Thanks for watching, guys. See you soon. Look out for one another. Bye now.